Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a story that, honestly, is pretty wild. It starts with a spectacular failure, like a real crash and burn moment. But it ends with a radical, and get this, guaranteed blueprint for the future. We're going to connect the dots between a failed charity, a local brownie sale, and a totally new kind of artificial intelligence. Okay, so let's set the scene. It's 2019, and this crowdfunding campaign pops up called End Hunger Now. And they launch with maybe the biggest claim you could possibly make. They said they had a plan to, and I'm quoting here, fix most of the world's problems. I mean, with a goal that huge, you just have to know, what was their big idea?
Well, the solution was actually kind of beautiful. They called it an infinite loop. Here's how it worked. You sell one meal, use the profits from that sale to pay for a second meal, and then you give that second meal away for free. The plan was to do this every single day, creating this, this self-powering engine for good that once you got it started could just run forever.
So to get this world-changing engine up and running, they figured out the absolute bare minimum they needed, the one-time investment, so they'd never have to ask for another dollar again. And you know what that number was? Just $18,000. That's it. A single payment of 18 grand to, theoretically, end world hunger.
But as you can probably guess, that incredible dream ran headfirst into a brick wall of reality. The campaign didn't just fall short, it was a total disaster. They needed $18,000, and they raised a grand total of $386. That's a little over 2% of their goal. By any measure, a complete and spectacular failure. But what's really fascinating here is who gave that money. That entire $386 came from just 5 people. 5 individuals who really truly saw the vision. One of them, who gave $10, left this comment: "Please help make this a reality. It takes such little commitment with so much to gain."
And that just raises the biggest question of all, right? You've got this grand vision, a problem everyone agrees on, and a really clever, detailed plan. So, why wasn't that enough? Why did it fail so completely? Well, it turns out that failure wasn't the end of the story. It was actually a clue, pointing to something much, much bigger.
So following the trail from that failure leads us to this really strange puzzle, and involves 2 other projects that, on the surface, have absolutely nothing to do with each other. We're about to go from a failed charity to a brownie, and then to a blueprint for entire new cities. So on one hand, you have Exhibit A, this massive global blueprint for building futuristic communities, all based on crypto. And on the other hand, you have Exhibit B, a simple, local fundraiser in Jerusalem just selling a brownie. I mean, these 2 things seem like they're from different planets.
At first glance, there's no way they're related. But when you start digging, you find these hidden connections that are just impossible to ignore. All 3 projects share specific names. They share overlapping timelines, with key parts kicking off in 2021. They even use the exact same website building technology. These are not coincidences. There's something linking them all together.
And here's the crucial point. It turns out there is one single, really powerful idea that unites all 3 of these things. It's a core philosophy, a different way of looking at the world that connects everything from global hunger to building communities to, yes, even selling a brownie.
So it all boils down to a clash between 2 completely different worldviews. On one side, you have the scarcity mindset. This is the idea, the background noise in our society, that there just isn't enough to go around. Not enough money, not enough food, not enough success, and that forces us into competition and conflict. But on the other side, there's this counter idea, the abundance reality. This argument says, hey, wait a minute, we already have all the technology and resources we need for everyone to thrive. The real challenge isn't creating more stuff, it's changing how we think. Okay, but shifting a global mindset, that's going to take more than just a good idea. To actually put this philosophy of abundance into practice on a massive scale, well, the argument is that you need a completely new kind of engine. A new class of technology had to be built from the ground up.
And it's called GEMINI. That stands for Generated Intentional Intelligence. And that word, intentional, is everything. It's the absolute key. This is a system designed from its very core to be built around human purpose, human values, human intent.
And this really gets to the core difference. Think about standard AI, right? It's basically a logistics engine. It's amazing at answering questions like what, how, when, and where, all the details. Gemini, on the other hand, is an intent engine. It completely flips that pyramid upside down. It starts with the most important question of all. Who? Who is this person? What are their values? What do they really want? By starting there, with human intent, every other answer it gives is fundamentally different.
And we need to be really clear about something. When they use the word quantum here, it's just a metaphor. This has absolutely nothing to do with quantum computing. It's a way to describe a system that can understand how complex we are as humans. You know, how a single person can want both total security and wild adventure at the same time. It's a system designed to grasp those contradictions, to upgrade our own intuition, not replace it.
The entire system is built on this foundation of 3 profoundly simple ethical rules. Rule 1, do no harm. Rule 2, do good if you can. And Rule 3, which is maybe the most important, if you are ever unsure, just ask. That's it. This creates a core programming of trust and safety for an intelligence that's designed to truly help us.
So the big question is, how does this grand vision, all this philosophy and technology, actually hit the ground in the real world? How do you really go about fixing a global mindset? Well, the answer is kind of surprising. You start with something small enough to hold in your hand.
This is the actual blueprint. It's called the Path to Peace, and it's a 4-step model that's designed to scale up from a single person to an entire society. Step 1 is the foundation, personal health, which is anchored by a simple nutritional bar. Once you've got that solid foundation, the plan moves outward to land restoration, then to building sustainable farms, and finally to the ultimate goal, creating fully self-sufficient communities.
Now, the system is so confident that this blueprint works that it comes with a guarantee that is, well, it's almost unbelievable. It's called the Ask Key Challenge. You tell it your goal and your budget. The system gives you the steps. And here's the guarantee. You will achieve your goal within 3 years while doubling your investment every single year. And if for some reason you don't, there's a safety net. You get 100% of your money back.
And look, this isn't just some promise living on a server somewhere. It's backed by real, tangible, physical assets. If you invest up to $1 million, your guarantee is backed by a cash deposit. For anything over $1 million, it's secured by units in a global real estate investment trust, a REIT, which is basically just a share in a whole portfolio of properties around the world.
So this brings us right to this very moment. This whole model, which started as a theory in a 2020 hackathon, actually predicted a major crossroads for the year 2025, a point where this technology would become a concrete reality. Well, guess what? It's 2025. We are here now. The theoretical is now practical, and it's landing in a world that is already moving fast.
And this whole ecosystem isn't just happening in a bubble. It connects directly to this growing, real-world trend of what people are calling startup societies. We're talking about tech leaders and billionaires literally trying to build brand new private cities from scratch, hoping to create entirely new models for how we live.
And it really leaves all of us with a fundamental choice to make about our future. As this technology gets faster and more powerful, the most critical question is, who or what is in the driver's seat? Are we going to lead with human wisdom, putting our values and our intent first by always asking who? Or are we going to hand the keys over to cold, hard logic, just optimizing for what and hoping for the best? That is the question we now all have to answer.